you've gotten your first coat on, then you want to put your second coat on. Although this is not quite dry the way I like it to be, we really had the heat off up in here yesterday. Many people use a mud pan. They take the mud pan and put the joint compound in the mud pan, and they scrape it off the edge of the mud pan. But I found it's easier for me to use 2 trowels. Just basically placing my hand on the back of the trowel and using 2 trowels to work the joint compound. Gets a quicker, better result for me. It takes years of practice to be proficient at it. So you want to spread it on there. You spread it wide enough. You see where you have the original seams. You want to come past it, past that. You want to come past the original seam you have. Just what I'm doing, I'm putting it on there. I'm taking these 2 fingers and I'm coming in. I'm angling the trowel. I guess about 45 degrees, and I'm coming down with it. I'm pressing my fingers. I'm pressing these 2 fingers against it to give it a nice smooth, and taking the excess off by scraping the excess off on my trowel. And then what you want to do, you get to the edges nice and what they call feathered. I come down and press the trowel this way with this finger here just to get the edge. So I'm running along the edge. As you can see, I'm pressing it, and you want to see that kind of to where it's transitioning to almost nothing. So that's how you want to do it. And then the same on this side, I use the opposite finger. And I come across and I swerve, coming across and swerving to grab the excess. Just to get to this corner. So I'm coming across, I'm swerving, then I come down and smooth it out. You also want to make sure your joint compound doesn't have any rocks or gravel in it, any dirt or debris, because it will make your job 10 times harder. So make sure that the problem most people have, all my years of doing this, I noticed, is they don't put enough joint compound on the wall. They want to just put just the bare minimum. Well, what you want to do is, you want to cover as much area as possible, because when you come down, the trowel just smooth it out until the point where it's any indentation, you want enough joint compound to make sure that it's not, it fills in any indentations, any gap. So don't be afraid to put enough joint compound on your trowel. I mean, it's going to take a little bit longer to work with, but the finish, you want the finished product to be, worthwhile. So I'm taking the fingers, I'm cleaning the edges off, on the edges, and then the middle, I'll come across at an angle, smooth that out. That's it. Because what's happening is, if you see how that transition to nothing, if it's too thick or whatever, when you go to sand, it makes it complicated. It takes a lot more time to sand. And this, of course, doing this wall, it really wouldn't make too much of a difference. But if you're drywalling a house with 200 or 300 sheets of drywall, and I've done it about the most I've done probably 400 sheets of drywall, and it's a whole 3-story building, you want as quick as possible to be able to sand and keep it moving. So if it's not smooth like this, you got to keep sanding it. That's just that much more time to take you. But with this little wall right here, it really wouldn't matter. But for the sake of teaching you, I want you to know that this is where you want it, just like this, where it's feathered, what they call feathered into nothing. See, you can't see it, but there's like an indentation right there. So if I was to leave that like that, when I go to sand it, it will be this indentation. Remember, when you sand, you can't add any more joint compound. You're only taking off. So you want to make sure you have enough, a sufficient amount of joint compound. Whereas even if you add too much joint compound, it's better than not having enough, because you can sand it and get it smooth, but you can't add any more joint compound to the wall. So I need to fill that in, that gap in a little bit more, because it was uneven. The drywall recessed a little bit under the wall. I have to build that out. I have to build it out a couple layers of joint compound. I put enough joint compound on it. And what I do, I take my trowel, I just go straight across it. Straight across to build that out. And sometimes it has to be built out even more. You gotta let this dry and put a third coat. This is the second coat. Sometimes you might have to put a third coat on there. So I've gotten it to where it's going across pretty smooth. Just need to feather this part out right here. I'm taking my trowel, I'm coming across, and I'm going like that. And that's feathered. That's good enough. You're not gonna get it perfect. I mean, I've seen guys a lot better than me who can do it a lot better, but this is good enough, sufficient enough, where you can go ahead and sand it and get a quality finish product, quality finish. Let me point this out real quick. The reason I use two trowel, I take my trowel, and if you can see it, I spread it. I go along and I spread it so it covers the whole length of the trowel. It covers the length of the trowel instead of just putting it on one glob in one spot, because you want to make sure when you put it on, you have an even enough spread. So I'm taking it, now I'm going to feather it. I'm going to angle it, I'm going to come around. You got some time to figure out how you're going to do it. I'm just taking off the edges, off this corner. Take the excess off. And I'm coming around. That's it. And feather this side. Then come down the middle. When you come down the middle, you want to come lightly. You want to come lightly down the middle when you're taking the excess off. It's done. Normally after the second coat, you can go ahead and sand, but there's some areas I'm still kind of, because this is kind of beveled out a little bit. I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's not quite flush, it's still beveled out a little bit. So because of that, I'm going to put a third coat on it. So what you want to do first, take your scraper and knock off any rough edges. Just take these two fingers and just slightly glide over it lightly. Nope, you don't have to press in. Just knock off any rough edges. And take your joint compound, and like I said, these two fingers, remember, you want to take these two fingers and spread them. Take your trowel off, and you want to spread it over the area that's uneven. Like usually, make sure you put enough joint compound on there. Take the excess off. You want to go in a direction. You want to go in a direction that's best suited for the application in which you're applying the compound. Case in point, I'm going this way because I want to keep this area filled in. This is where the gap, where the curvature was. So I don't want to dig into it. If I went this way, now I might go that way just to put it on there, but I want to go this way so I won't dig into it, so I won't increase the curvature. You can't see that there's a dip, a crease right here where it goes in. Well, if I put my joint compound, I want to go this way because I want the trowel to fill in that gap. If I go this way, what would happen, if I go this way, my trowel would get into the groove and then it wouldn't fill it.